Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Soothing Semantics. I'm your host, Rafi Pinsky. Make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, leave your comments. And for all of your real estate needs, make sure to follow Rafi the Realtor on Instagram. That's Rafi underscore the underscore realtor. And make sure to check out my weekly newsletter with a link in bio. If you have my contact info, if you're a friend of mine, you can always reach out to me and say, hey, man, here's my email. I'd love to get the listed properties, sold properties, real estate news, real estate statistics, things to do in South Florida. It's a wonderful email. I personally created it and built the templates myself. So I would love to have you on board. Without further ado, we have my cousin, first cousin, on the Gentile side. All right. And yes, so we're going to get into this because it's interesting. I haven't known him for most of my life, and he lived very close to me growing up. I grew up in the Kensington Flatbush area of Brooklyn. He grew up in Sunset Park, and little did we know, man, I had a family member very, very close to me. So
Yo, just want to know because now my AirPods died. Is my audio going to be a problem?
no, I hear you just fine.
You hear me just fine, not echoing or anything?
No, it sounds fine.
Okay, sounds dope. I was like, yo, we took so long setting up, my AirPods died, so now I got to use
Oh
mine.
no, we're we're good, man. We're good. Okay, so Ryan Glessing is my cousin. He found me from a DNA website called MyHeritage. So I just decided to take the test, got my results back, and then very soon after that, I he reached out to me on Facebook and said, "Hey, man, looks like you're my cousin." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool," because I haven't met anyone from the other side of my family all these years. So I think I was around maybe 25 or so, or 26, and he reached out to me. We started talking. Came to New York to visit. This was I was already living in Florida, and I came, met you, met a couple of other cousins, and then I had dinner by your family. Really hit it off with you guys. Just got really
Mhm.
close over that little weekend. I came back to New York a few months later, then we really got close, had a really good time. So that's it. We're stuck with each other. So Brian, thanks for coming, man. Much appreciated.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So we're gonna get into a little bit of the DNA tests, how they work, how you can find long lost family, and just kind of getting into our story. So
Yeah.
tell the peoples. Oh, first of all, just to give you a little thing, he works in finance in New York. He's got a Cane Corso, which is a big dog,
About 140
big
pound
dog.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, a big boy, big boy. So that's his pal, and kind of going straight into the DNA thing.
Yeah.
How did you find me, dude? How did that?
Dude. So it goes back to 2019 actually. So I think Ancestry did like a 40% off coupon, right? So it was $60. And I ordered it, I spin a tube and I sent it off. And then like 3 or 4 weeks later, I get a call from our other cousin Chris, right? And he was like, "Yo, did you do Ancestry?" I was like, "Yeah, I just did it. I was like expecting my results back." He goes, "You popped up as a cousin. Log in, right?" And I'm in my car actually on break from work, so it was like perfect timing. And we're like, "Yo, this is so crazy! Wow, yeah, popped up first cousin." And then we were like, "Wait, who is this first cousin Marion?" Right? And so whatever, we're stoked about doing Ancestry, and then we bring up to our parents on both sides. We were like, "Hey, anybody know Marion Athy or whatever?" And they were like, "No, no, no. We're trying to figure out who it was." I mean, we call her. It turns out that she was I mean, look, it turns out she was my grandpa's like illegitimate child. She was born, I think, in 1955, which is the same year that my grandparents got married. He probably had like a one night stand with this girl, and yeah, look, she was the product of that. Her family did, put her up for adoption. She was with a foster family, and she said that she was been looking for her family since she was like 17 years old, and now she's a 60-year-old woman, right? So to finally figure out who you were related to after 43 years of looking was like she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so thankful." She comes over for Thanksgiving, and my family was like pretty accepting of her. And then she was actually saying, like, when we first met her, she's like, "Who's Rafi, by the way?" And we were like, "Fuck is Rafi? We don't know any fucking Rafis, right? It's probably on your other side of the family or some shit, right?" So I'm doing sketchy things, just uploading my DNA to every website in 2019. I'm like, oh, I got to upload my ancestry to 23andMe, MyHeritage, My True Heritage, like My True Ancestry, or whatever the hell these weird websites are on the internet. I'm uploaded to all of them. And so on MyHeritage, now I see Rafi. I'm like, oh, Rafi Pinsky. I was like, I don't know. Like it says he's my first cousin. In fact, I think I share. I'm not sure how, I forget how much it was, but it was a decent amount. I mean, first cousin. And so obviously I messaged you on Facebook. It was pretty easy to find you. And so I messaged you. The beard was a give. I was like, it's got to be this guy, right?
Let's go. Let's go.
And so yeah, I messaged you from there. We tried to figure it out. Obviously, you're from Brooklyn, in an area that my uncle used to be a cop in, and yeah, I mean, from there, I mean, hey, now you're family.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny how that worked out, man. Yeah. So we spoke, we had some nice back and forth, and then we finally met up, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about these DNA tests? Because you got really into them, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
what can you kind of tell people that are thinking about doing them, but either are skeptical about them or just haven't gotten around to them? Maybe they have adoptive parents or they just haven't really, what can you tell somebody who's new to it and hasn't done it?
So I feel like like everybody who does ancestry, they're kind of expecting this crazy story, and I think I kind of did have a crazy story, like to find an aunt. Actually, not even that. I don't know if you even wanted to tell it, but then you have another sister, right? Too,
Hmm.
like so then I have now three extra cousins and an aunt, right, from ancestry. Now on the flip side, my girlfriend did it, and there's no surprises. Nobody's like there's no surprises. She came back 99% Sicilian. There's no extra cousins. Everybody is who they say they are, and that's that. But you could uncan some worms, by accident though. To be honest, you're like, you ever wonder why your cousin doesn't really look like your uncle, and you go, I don't know, was it the mailman's kid? That joke is sometimes true.
It's wild. It's wild. And then they meet up with you when you're not expecting. They're like, "Hey, bro, we can't really let that info sneak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's supposed to know about this." And
Exactly.
you just take a little bit of a bribe. $100,000. No big, no big deal. You're like, "Hey, man, I scratch your back, you scratch mine."
Exactly, right.
So this is why Ryan has been doing this to pretty much give his family members an ultimatum.
Yeah,
In case,
exactly.
in case
That's
there's any fishy business. He's gotten very wealthy from it, actually. It's been his primary source of income. The finance is
exactly,
nowhere near
exactly. The finances is a cover up.
right. Yeah, man, it's super cool, dude. It's a super cool thing.
I think it's
You
cool
know,
too. I mean, look, especially for like Americans, like if you've been here for a long time, people were lying about who they were back then. They were trying to hide who their family were. They were changing names when they were coming here, just because maybe like Polish people were looked at, odd. I mean, Italian people were looked on odd. I mean, honestly, it seems like anybody who wasn't English was kind of looked at odd, when they first came. So people changed their names, lied about who they were all the time. Either they were running from something or just wanted to fit in. So, I mean, look, you're gonna find out who you are and where you come from. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, it definitely is. So, oh, funny thing, yesterday you sent me this very uh prestigious looking dude with a handlebar mustache.
Oh yeah.
How do
Uh,
you Okay, so he sends me this picture yesterday of this railroad.
he
What
was
did
an
you say he
accountant
did?
for a railroad in Canada.
Right, right. So he's got a super cool looking dude, Giuseppe Scalisi. So how
Yep.
how do we trace that back?
That is Grandma Fran. You met her. She lived across the street. Her father's father. So that's our great great grandpa. And that picture was from 1881. So 143 or 143 years ago.
Bro, people loved it, man. I posted it on my Instagram story and people were like they thought it was so funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yo, honestly, you get that response. Like people love seeing old pictures, and like th- I love seeing old pictures of people who aren't related to me, let alone to then see like literally your fucking great great grandparent, right? That's kind of dope.
There's something so cool about those older black and white pictures, even if they're not black and white, but just people
Yeah.
dressed so cool back then. They had this eloquence to them, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, there's some, don't get me wrong, man, with all the technology, there's some cool pictures. Like I have cool pictures
Mhm.
growing up, but there's something about that little hat that they wear, that kind of the Peaky Blinders kind of hat
Yeah,
with that little thing in the
yeah.
front. You have, a guy with a pipe or a cigar, and he has a really cool tuxedo or a long trench coat, and it's
They were like,
cloudy
this is gonna be
outside,
the
or
one picture of my life. It's gonna be fucking the best picture I ever took.
right, right. There's just that old Ford in the background, and it's raining
Yeah.
out, and he's got an umbrella, but he's not even using it to keep him dry. He's just using it because he's modeling,
Yo,
you
that's
know.
actually, you say the old Ford. I have a picture of Grandpa Buddy. It's literally a pic. Grandma just sent it to me. It's a picture of him in front of his Ford. He's wearing like a suit, and he's standing in front of. I gotta send it to you actually.
Dude, I love this.
And that's the thing, Grandma too, and then she loves pictures. And obviously, I think that came from something. Her grandfather was taking pictures in the late 1800s. Like when pictures, I guess, weren't even widely available.
Hmm.
So, and if you see Grandma's house, it's book on book on book of just pictures, pictures, pictures.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've never been such a picture person. I love when other people take pictures. I've just never been
Yeah,
a
me
person that
too.
takes a lot of them. But
Yeah,
then I'm always like, oh shit, I should have taken pictures. But it's
100%. 100%.
yeah.
Those are like the people that like recorded history almost. That's how I feel. Like my girlfriend,
Mhm.
she definitely is one of those people that were writing on rocks, the date. She was drawing fucking like antelopes and shit like that. And
Mhm.
because she has a picture and a date for everything. She goes, I know she knows what she wore on her 19th birthday. She knows what she wore on her 23rd birthday. She knows what she wore on Easter of 2021, and she can date everything. She's like, you don't remember? She's just a whiz up here too with that. Um, but yeah, like I love people that take pictures. Know people, because I'm bad with that. Honestly, I'm never the person to whip out a phone and take a picture. I'm not the kind of person who honestly remembers birthdays very well either. I don't know how you are with that, but
I'm
I'm
not the best with
terrible.
that. I'm not the best with that.
I thank
Unless,
I thank God for Facebook.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God. But yo, this is like 95% of people. Let's not act like
Yeah,
it's
but you
just
know what?
us.
It even makes it feel fake too, though. Like, when people wish me my birthday, I'm like, I don't think you knew because everybody's texting me at the same time.
No, of course not, dude. Unless they're
But
really
it's supposed to
close
be
with
the
you.
thought, but I feel like it almost even ruined, like the thought.
I mean, it's all speculation. You don't really know who knows and who does. I mean, you kind of do. Like,
Exactly.
your girlfriend, your parents, your
Of
your
course.
very close
Yeah.
family, some of your very close friends you grew up with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one knows.
Exactly.
You
I don't
know?
like. That's the thing. I wouldn't fault somebody if they didn't text me on my birthday. I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me.
I still think it's nice that the person doesn't know your birthday, but they still took the second to send that message. It's still
Exactly.
nice because
That's
there's a lot
another
of
way to
people who
look at it.
didn't.
That's another way to look at it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who didn't give even enough of a shit to write the happy birthday message in the first place. So I don't know.
That's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah, so I think it says something to some degree.
I'm also a big
Uh,
fan of the Irish goodbyes. Maybe that says something too, right? Like the
I like an Irish coffee, but I haven't had enough of those.
oh, an
I
Irish
haven't.
coffee, like or Irish car bomb. I don't know what you said.
I was saying Irish coffee, but what's an Irish car
Oh,
bomb?
honestly, I think that's Guinness with like a shot of whiskey or something. I don't know. I'm really not too
Oh,
sure.
I thought that was just like a kind of Jägermeister sort of thing.
Maybe it is. Honestly, I don't really know. I
A
thought
Jaeger
you
bomb,
just
a
brought
Jaeger
up
bomb.
alcohol.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
it might be
Yeah.
a Jaeger bomb. Oh no, that's Jägermeister. That's Jaeger and oh no, you're right. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Maybe they just call it multiple things. I don't even know.
I don't know, man. Okay.
Cut that out.
So,
We look stupid. No, I'm joking.
oh
Filipino,
man.
cut it. No, I'm joking.
I'm
I'm
still,
joking.
yeah, I'm not hungover, but I had a wedding. I had my really, really close friend's wedding
Right.
last night. So, but I didn't actually feeling pretty good, all things considered. I think I just had enough water before I went to sleep. So that was
Uh,
good.
that's what
Yeah,
you got to
but
do when you're almost 30, or you're 30 now.
I'm about
30,
to be, bro, next
about
week.
to be.
30, 30, 30,
He's like, got
30.
to make sure I get my water.
Gotta get my water. I have to take my meds for my rheumatoid arthritis. Oh, when it gets cold outside, my bones hurt.
Damn. Actually, what happened is 2 months. I just turned 25, right? I pinched a nerve in my back. I swear to God, from a weighted blanket, dude. The dumbest shit in the world. I got a 30-pound weighted blanket. It's actually really comfortable, but it was for Christmas. I was like, let me finally bust out this weighted blanket. I slept with it. I put it on. I was like, oh, this is actually great. I couldn't get out of bed. I literally had to roll out of bed like this, and then had
Oh
to
my
like
gosh.
walk up my stairs like Bloody Mary. And then I finally, dude, I had the worst morning. And then I get in, I couldn't even let Leo out of his cage. I was like, I'm too fucked up. I get in the shower, and I don't even take hot showers. I take like very lukewarm showers. So I get in there, and it's not doing anything. So I just keep pumping the heat up, and then I push literally no cold water. It's just straight up hot, the hottest water possible, steaming everywhere, and it's the only thing that's making my back feel good. But then obviously I'm in there for 20 minutes. I get out, and now I'm so overheated from the hot water that I'm about to pass out. I lay on the floor, and now I'm restuck like I was getting out of bed.
Oh God.
Bro, I pinched a nerve in my back. I don't even know. I don't want to say it's from the weighted blanket. I want to say like I was hit by a car or something, but unfortunately, it was a weighted blanket that put me out
So now the
bad.
weighted blanket, but that's the funny thing. I don't know if the weighted blanket will be a problem every time. It could be you just something you just slept a certain way, something happened.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm feeling a lot better today, but I was like, man, because as soon as I turned 25, everybody was like, oh, it's all downhill. It's all downhill. I was like, nah, I'm just hitting my prime. And no, they were right. I'm already out for the count.
Your body was like, "That's it. You're old." No,
Exactly.
no, but dude, don't people say that jokingly. They don't realize,
I
man.
know. Yeah, yeah.
People say this shit jokingly, but they don't realize how much it actually affects you. Because people are like, "Oh, it's just a joke. Like it's all downhill from here."
I
But
know.
people start to internalize that stuff. I'm not gonna go down this whole rabbit hole,
No, it's so no, that's so true. Like you don't even
but I
think about it.
fully,
I forget. Like Warren Buffett made most of his money after 55 or some shit. Like or after maybe it's even later than that. After 60,
yeah, man. Most
it's
people
like
make their
man,
money. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. People think you got to be a millionaire by the time you're 30 or whatever. I don't want to get into that kind of stupid shit. But you got to say like, yo, just because what your life is what it is at 30 doesn't mean that's it. That's all it is
Mhm.
really.
I mean, most people will stay paycheck to paycheck until they're dead. So
Yeah,
the the
yeah,
the
yeah,
bar the
yeah.
bar is pretty low. The bar is
That's
pretty low.
true. That's true.
You know. Okay, so back to DNA.
Yeah.
First off, give people a little bit of an idea of how it actually works in terms of how did they create this system where they really just makes me sound like a novice with DNA, and I really am because I did not give a shit in college when they discussed everything.
I mean, look,
How,
I'm no fucking bio major either, honestly, right? But
right? Do you have an
from
idea
my
of how they kind of
understanding,
do this?
honestly, look, there's something on there. It's called like centograms or some shit, and they're able to tell how much DNA you share with a certain person, right? And depending
Mhm.
on that number, like you share. Hold on, let me go on Ancestry. Oh no, it's actually you know what's they know that you're doing stuff like this, and then they want to screw you so bad because then I go on my matches, right, and it tells
Mhm.
me this page failed to load, and I probably have to go on my computer or something and then do all this extra shit to see it. But I think you share like 3,500 CMs with your parents. I think you would share like 1,800 with like a sibling, anywhere from like 18 to 2,500 with a sibling. Same thing with like a full aunt or a full aunt or uncle would be like around the same, like 1,500 or something. And that's where like Marion was like around like 900.
So what's a
She's a
cousin?
half
How much?
aunt.
How much was?
I think you were at like 800, like right below Marion, maybe like 800. It was like right around the same thing as Chris.
Okay.
Um, and or maybe like slightly less. Maybe I think you were like 600. You were like the same like Alexandria, honestly. I think it was like 600,
Mhm.
700 CMs. But it's still like in a range of first cousins because you get a random 50% of DNA from your parents, right? So um, you're not going to be you may not even share like 50% fully DNA with like your sibling because um, you get a random 50% from each parent. So imagine you get 25%, I mean, just for stupid sakes, Irish from one parent, or you get 50% Irish from one parent and 50% Italian from another, right? There, let's say 50%. My math is wrong here. Anyways, you get a random 50% of DNA from each of your parents, right? So the math is kind of off, and then the same exact thing happens to your cousins. Your cousins will get a random 50% from their parents who already have the only two who are related are, let's say, your uncle and your uncle and your dad, right? So
Mhm.
they both have a random 50% from their parents. So they could be like 40% DNA related. And then they're gonna get a random 50% again from their mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could wind up sharing like 20% DNA with like your first cousin, before, by the time you get to the egg and the fucking sperm, right? Um, so yeah, so like we're right around in the range. Now it could range a little bit longer. Like you could have like a closer, especially like once you start getting the twins and inbreeding and shit like that. But we got none of that here. It's actually kind of cool. The DNA kind of follows like the immigration into New York, which is kind of wild. So like the lowest amount is English and Irish, right? Those are like the lowest amount because those were like the first people to really come to, like the United States. Then after that, you have like the French and the Italians after, right? After, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like it kind of comes in like in order, and we're obviously, well, me at least, mostly Italian, right? Then like a little bit of then like second most is like French and Norwegian, and then Irish and English, So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. Like it kind of gets smaller as like immigration comes to New York, which was pretty cool to see. And honestly, it makes sense. Like that's another thing too, is that like I can't say that it's not true. Like through immigration records, I am Southern Italian. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
the Militanos, the Scalises, the French. Our line is Bacchus. I have a. It's my great grandma from my dad's father's side, like my dad's paternal side. Her name is Josephine Bacchus. I mean, same thing. My father. I mean, your family too. Um,
You blew your
so that's where the
Bacchus out.
French
You
comes
blew your
in.
Bacchus out pretty bad the other day. That's for sure.
I did. I threw my Bacchus out. That's so true. And then Scottish and Irish. We have the Hickeys in our family. My dad's side is a Hickey. On the other side too, my mom, she has Donahue. Her mother is mostly Norwegian, but has a little bit of Irish. There's
Mm-hmm.
a last name Donahue in there, and then the English and Northwestern Europe, that comes from the. I mean, actually, I've been able to trace the last name Glessing back to a man named John Glessing, who was born in the 1700s. He
Mm-hmm.
immigrated his family from Württemberg, Germany, to London, England, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a son named John, who had a son named John, who had a son named John. Right? No, yeah, there was
Mm-hmm.
three Johns in a row, and then there was three Harrys in a row, and then there was my dad and me, and then obviously for you there was three Johns in a row, three Harrys in a row, allegedly Steven, and then you, right?
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Like and honestly, looking at historical records too, I like the name John. I like the name Harold. Me and Marissa have actually spoke about maybe naming one of our kids, Harry or something, and just like in honor of family and doing research and records and stuff like that. So
Super interesting.
yeah, if you're gonna do all this research, you might as well just honor the fucking people, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. It's so cool, man.
yeah.
Okay. So are there any other things you wanted to mention to bring up in terms of,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
yo, and I'd actually love to show it to you too. So I actually was able to find so this John Glessing, right?
Mhm.
It was pretty cool. You can find there was an article written about it's called gut string makers, right? So gut strings. Just want to make sure I'm being totally accurate with what it is. I believe it's like violin strings. So like they used to make um, it's the cord that is prepared from. Unfortunately, maybe this won't be PC. It's found in animal intestines, right? Um, I just want to make sure. Yeah, they use this for musical instruments, right? So they're going to be making harps, violins, and things like that, acoustic guitars. And this is apparently, and I'll send you this. This is one of I think seven families who are like worldly known for this kind of stuff. Not sure if you were musically talented or not. I'm not. Uh, but yeah, I want to read you this, and I want to send it to you too. This way, you have this for your own record. So it says the Glessing family. It says it has proved difficult to untangle the lineage of the Glessing family, who were active as string makers in London in the 18th century. Apparently, five women had children with fathers named John Glessing, and it's not clear whether or not these are subsequent marriages of the same man or different individuals. However, in outline, my present findings suggest that there were three John Glessings who were string makers. John the First, being known as John Balthazar, who came over to London from Heilbronn in Württemberg, Germany, in around 1789. He's the son of Sabinus and Francis Glessing, which is pretty cool because that's grandma's name. Her name is Frances Glessing, and this is
Hmm.
200 years later, which is kind of cool.
Hmm.
And my grandpa with that last name married her. So so he was the Reformed Protestant Lutheran religion. He worked from the premises in Bell Lane in Spitalfields and married an Englishwoman and fathered 9 children. Having acquired the leasehold from some land, he built 3 houses numbered 16, 17, and 18 Bell Lane, along with a factory and outbuildings behind them, one of which was numbered 15 Tilly Street. It says the cost for this was €1,000, and Glessing estimated in 1829 that the value had risen to €1,200. Actually, I'd love to see how much that is in real life, like today, right? Like after €1,200 in fucking 18 in the fucking 17 1780 fucking nine.
Well, you can honestly probably Google that.
Yeah, I know that's pretty. I
Yeah.
honestly never even thought to do that. Um, uh, so apparently, the reason why he had to do this was because he didn't realize he couldn't legally own property in
Hmm.
London unless he was a citizen, and he came from Germany. So I don't know. I guess they were making a big deal about Germans at that time. uh, but it seems that John had 2 wives over the course of his life in London. John and Caroline, who had 2 daughters, Sophia Caroline and Mary Caroline, who baptized at Christ Church. Now, which is really cool because Sophia Caroline is actually buried in Greenwood Cemetery, which is literally in my backyard. And she married a guy, I think his name was something Burton, who actually was a Broadway actor or something like
Hmm.
that. She has a crazy monument in Greenwood. I go and see it actually pretty often. Um, so yeah, there's a lot about it. Honestly, it actually his will is viewable online, which is kind of cool. Like to
Why
view
wasn't
like
I involved? Why wasn't I signed to this will?
I know, right? That's what I'm starting to fucking think. I'm starting to
I'm
think
trying
about
to
who
understand
really
this.
got the
What
money from
they should
this.
have made sure this will was good for like 20 generations. This way,
Yeah, a
you and I
thousand
would,
euros. Who the fuck blew it then, right?
right?
Fucking bastards, right?
We'd be
Yeah.
sitting here in Monaco in our Ferraris. I don't know what's going on
Yeah,
here.
I know, right? Just needed some investing advice. They just
Right,
needed some Gary V. If only they had
right,
Gary V back in
right.
1829.
Dude, you got to
He's
make
like,
sure the 20
dude,
generations are taken care of, man. Just gotta like,
100%.
you just gotta like, have your blueberries and just make sure that you're taking care of your family and stuff.
Violin
Right? Yeah.
strings.
He's great. Oh man.
Love
Yeah,
Gary V
yeah.
though.
That's what's crazy, man. And
Yeah,
that's always how generations are. Is like
I'm
you have a
actually
couple of
laughing so hard I'm crying. Gary
yeah,
V.
you
Gary
have a
V
couple
comedy makes me cry laughing. You know who does a
Nima
great
Nas, dude.
Gary
You got to
V?
check out Nima Nas, the Canadian guy, that like heavy set Persian dude. If they're
Oh, I
originally
think I've
Iranian.
seen him, dude. Because every single time I see a Gary V impression, I die laughing. They're the
Oh no, he
best.
does the best Gary Vee impression, hands down.
I,
End of story.
I, I gotta see
He's
it
like,
after this.
yeah, I'll show it to you. Nima Nas is next level. He's the funniest dude. So, um, yeah, it's funny how that works with families where you'll have a poor family, one person, whether it's a guy or a girl, makes it in the family. They're like the first one for several generations to make any kind of money. They pass their money down a couple of generations. Could be the kids completely ruin it, or it could be the grandkids or the great grandkids, but somebody eventually screws up that fortune, and then they got
Yeah,
to
right.
start right back at square one again, and it's just a cycle. Like you
Like I wonder how much just 15 Tilly Street costs today, right? Like I gotta be able to find that and see like the actual cost. And think about it, it was probably like a big ass plot of land in London. Like think about how much that would be
Mhm.
today. The guy just owns like where the fucking clock was, and we didn't even know
Bro,
it.
you never know. There could be some like money that's just been passed. No, I mean, listen, it
Nah,
hasn't
by
gotten
this
to
time,
me.
no, everybody's already fucking claimed that shit.
I know, right? Yeah, there's no
I
way.
think England was literally bombed to fucking smithereens in this time between here
Yeah,
and
they're not
there.
about to share it with their unborn, great, great,
They're
great,
like,
great,
they've
great,
seen
great
my
grandkids.
document. I'm like, but look this, and they've ripped my document up. Yeah.
It's like an episode of Rick and Morty where they go down the road. They're like, yeah, he's got a decent beard, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let him, get by the skin of his teeth some other way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we covered some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to cover in the DNA
Uh,
space? What do you feel like you covered?
I think I covered a lot. I'm forgetting what else. I was thinking anything else that kind of popped up that was pretty cool. Oh well, first off, you got to definitely do Ancestry soon.
I
Just
do, I gotta
because
do it.
this way you could pop up as a match. Also, they have this really cool thing where and I think I share it with Chris. So you can see like I don't know how true it is or whatever, but there's like certain traits. Like for instance, let's see this. This tells me that I want to find the beard. Yeah, facial hair fullness. So it says, Ryan, your DNA suggests you have or could pass down genes for fuller facial hair. So it's like that's pretty cool that they're able to tell from your DNA if you're gonna have a big beard. For Chris, I actually think it says he's not gonna have facial hair. Let me see if he shared it with me. I don't remember how to find it exactly.
That is so cool.
Yeah, but like that I feel like that's pretty dope. It tells me something. It tells me that I did not develop all four of my wisdom teeth, but I did. In fact, I want to brag a little bit. I had all four of my wisdom teeth. Did you have your wisdom teeth removed?
Yep, I had them removed.
Really? I had all four of them grew in. I was 16 years old. Not even 16. I think it was the year I was turning 16. All four of them. I went to the dentist, and my mom and my brother, they were like, "Yeah, if you feel like you don't have any more room in your mouth, that's why you're gonna have to get them removed." And I was nervous because everybody is at that age, right? You're like 16, all your friends are getting them removed, and went to the dentist, and they were like, "Well, yeah, no, honestly, you have never really seen this, but you're 16, you have all your wisdom teeth in, and they're fine." I was like, "Whoa," but my parents had both of them had to get their wisdom teeth taken out. I'm not sure what I did differently. I had
Yeah,
like a
I don't know, but
caveman
I mean
jaw or
that
something.
they're
But
not. I
yeah,
mean,
all four.
they're not really such needed teeth. Do they really do anything?
No, but like I mean, the fact that I didn't have to have my face look like this. I mean, it just looks like that permanently. But
Yeah.
every kid came to high school, their cheeks like this, they're like their breath
Yeah, I
stunk.
had them all. I don't think I needed all of them removed. I definitely needed two of them. One of them was really impacted.
Your
One was
dentist was
really
just like, "Give me that insurance money, baby."
no. Well, actually, no. I did it in the army, so
Oh,
that I
the
mean,
medic was just trying to get some extra fucking reps in.
I didn't have to pay anything for it.
Hey.
But my dentist before I drafted told me I should probably do it,
Mhm.
and I just didn't do it. And I wasn't. I think I started to get some pain for it, but I remember him telling me that I should do it. And I was like, if I wait to do it after the army, it's going to cost me a lot
Won't
of
be paid
money.
for. Yeah.
Why don't I just do it for free? And they did an x-ray, and sure enough, they're like, yeah, you got to take these out. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, I'm not going to take out two from one side and leave the other two. Might as well just
Yeah.
keep it even and remove all of them. And so that's what they did. Those things are massive too. I remember when they put them in this little bag, they're just, it feels
No,
like
you
you're
get them as
pulling a little.
souvenirs, huh? That's crazy.
I think I lost all of them. I don't know what I did with them, but they
Damn.
were cool, bro. When they took them out of my mouth, I was like, yo, those are huge.
Damn.
So,
Put
so
them on a
that was,
necklace or something.
I know, right? That actually would be pretty cool. That would be a pretty cool necklace. Yeah. Especially if you like coated it in gold or something. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? And then don't pass anything down to your children, just except for your teeth necklace, right? That would be like the ultimate goal. They were like, I can't
Honestly,
wait to
dude,
see
that
what
would
I'm
be
inheriting.
so cool. I
They
wish I
just
thought of
take
that.
your teeth necklace.
That would be really cool. That would be really
Well, I still
cool.
got mine, so if I ever want to do it, I still could.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, Mr. Sir, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Always awesome talking to you.
It's a great time,
Ladies
man.
and gents, yeah, bro, pleasure having you. Ladies and
Absolutely.
gents, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for making it this far.
Yo, I want to plug my socials real quick, even though like I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Plug them in.
My TikTok is Ryan's Not Real Nine. I have a couple of funny videos, and I have a Twitch where I just stream Madden. Honestly, if you guys are down, it's
Oh,
Gless9, G L
and
E S
and
S 9.
and you're doing a show, man. You're doing your own podcast to tell people about this.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm also gonna. I haven't really figured out the social media name. We only did one episode. I streamed it on my Twitch, but yeah, we're gonna be doing like a weekly kind of like sports betting, sports analysis podcast. Mostly football and MMA. I'm not really too much of a fan of other sports. I could get into basketball watching it, but mostly I deal with football and MMA. Even
Cool.
though I don't do
Okay.
MMA, I just watch it. I could not beat the fuck out of nearly anybody.
Okay. So, yes, follow him on all of those platforms. Make sure again, Rafi the Realtor, weekly email. Of course, YouTube, which you're clearly watching right now. And as always, subscribe, like, comment, share with the peoples, and I look forward to seeing you or having you on next week's episode. See you next time. Peace.